4 simple ingredients make one pretty special drink. Let's have a look at the Irish coffee. Fáilte Arash to the bar. You are very welcome back to the bar, where we're making one of the iconic Irish drinks or Irish cocktails, the Irish coffee. Now, I'm shooting this in January of 2024. I'm hoping that it'll live out there for years to come. We're doing this to celebrate Irish Coffee Day. Now, there are those of us who believe that every day is Irish Coffee Day, but there's one day on the calendar where we celebrate the drink. We talk about our own personal takes on it. We look at the ingredients that go into it, and I know everybody has their own take on an Irish coffee, but I'm going to go back pretty much to basics on this one, and we're going to look through the 5 component parts. That's the 4 ingredients and the glass. We're going to talk about that. Now, if you just want to know about making an Irish coffee, at this stage you can have a look down below. The timings for the video are there, so you can jump straight to when I make the Irish coffee, because I'm going to spend the next number of minutes just talking through the component parts of the Irish coffee. So, with that, I suppose we talk about the glass, because this is what we make it in now. There's 2 glasses that you see out there for Irish coffees. I'm going to be using this one here today. This is the LIBBEY Georgian Irish coffee glass, 6 ounces or 180 mils. For those of you looking to order its product code, I believe it's 8064. I'll put a link to that, and there'll be lots of links down below for all of these various things that we're going through. That's what I'm going to use to make it. That has become, I suppose, the go-to glass for making Irish coffee. I believe it works really well. 6 fluid ounces. It allows that lovely balance between the 4 component ingredients that go in it. Now, you'll often see this used, a handle glass, larger. Mine is 9 ounces, 9 fluid ounces. So what I'll do is I'll put in the recipe that I'm going to use in the Georgian Irish coffee glass. I will tweak that down below for those of you that have one of these glasses. So I use this one, like I say, I suppose popularized by the folks at the Buena Vista Cafe, a few miles to the south of me in San Francisco. So that's the one that you see pretty much everywhere now. A little bit different from the original glass that was used at Foynes Airport or Foynes Port back in the day, when Joe Sheridan, who is credited with creating or inventing the Irish coffee, used the glass that you see here for making his coffee. Now, those of you back in Ireland will probably see more and more of this glass around Ireland than we do here in the States. So, first things first, that's the glass I'm going to use, the Georgian. I'm going to set this one aside. So, then we talk about the 4 ingredients in an Irish coffee. And those are sugar, whiskey, coffee, and cream. And I'm going to go through them in that order. So, sugar firstly. Now, I went to the Dublin College of Catering Culinary School, Cahill Street, back in the day, and in our final year we had a bar class, and we learned a number of very, very important life skills in that class. One of them was how to pull a pint of Guinness properly, and the second one was how to make an Irish coffee. Now, we were schooled back then to use Demerara sugar when making an Irish coffee, and obviously the sugar choice is yours, the sweetener choice is yours. I use Demerara sugar, not cheap to buy, I get that, but if you wanted to use sugars like turbinado or muscovado are also options in that spectrum. Brown sugar, just so you know, brown sugar is actually white sugar that has been coated in molasses. Now, some people use brown sugar, which is fine. Again, referencing the folks down in San Francisco at the Buena Vista, they use white sugar. They use cubed white sugar from a local sugar refinery here in the Bay Area, C&H. So everybody has their own take on sugar, but I use Demerara. Now, second ingredient, whiskey. No end of choice for you on the whiskey front. I have my favorite, which you can probably guess what that is, seeing it here sat on the bar, but you can use any of kind of the classic Irish whiskies for this. Tullamore Dew, often considered to be the Irish whiskey that goes with an Irish coffee, a long relationship between Tullamore Dew and the aforementioned Buena Vista. So your choice on that, if you want to use one of the classic Irish whiskies, or if you want to step it up a notch and maybe use one of the new Irish whiskies that we're seeing here stateside. There's a number available from various people around the around the country. And also, you know, in that area, there's the Jameson Stout Cask finish, and I think that just adds a lovely kind of creaminess to it. That's the one I have here. I struggle to get other Stout Cask finished Irish whiskies here stateside, but if you find one, I think they work really well in an Irish coffee. You can go up another level and you know, really treat yourself. I've always believed that the quality of ingredients in a cocktail are very important. So don't be afraid to use a really, really nice Irish whiskey in there, whether that's a nice single malt or a nice single pot still. It's going to add some depth and complexity and a chunk of flavor to your Irish coffee. Now, if you like a little bit of peat, a little bit of that smoked character in your whiskey, you can also have that in your Irish coffee. Then here, you know, there's a number of peated Irish whiskies that are available out there. These are the ones that I can get here out in California. And then for those of you that aren't necessarily fans of Irish whiskey, you can always take that and maybe a little bit of the sugar out of the equation and use some liqueur, whether it's a cream liqueur, whether it's something like Shanky's Whip. You know, these are sweet already, so play around with those. But you've got lots and lots of options with your Irish coffee. But area number 3 is the coffee. Now, everyone also has their own preference on coffees. We use a 50% caffeinated and decaf mix in the house. So the 50% caffeinated is a dark roast and the 50% decaf is a light roast, and that gives us a medium roast. I believe that a medium roasted coffee gives you the nice, perfect balance in your Irish coffee. Again, up to you. You'll have your favorite coffee that you like to use, whether that's an espresso, whether that's just coffee, filter coffee, whether it's from a French press, a cafetiere. It's your call, but good quality coffee in your Irish coffee. And then, of course, the last thing that we'll talk about is what goes on top of your Irish coffee, which is cream. And this is where lots of people have their own little takes and tweaks and tips and versions and variations on what they do for cream. What we do here in this house, we take some local heavy whipping cream from Sonoma County. I put the base of a cocktail shaker in the freezer. I then take that out. It's freezing cold on the side of the shaker. I put in my whipping cream and I use the little gizmo here that I have linked to that below, and I whisk it for 45 seconds. I then leave that sitting. I have it here on the bar beside me. I leave that sitting for, I'm going to say, between 5 and 10 minutes, just to let it warm up a tiny bit. And that is how I do my cream. So there are my the 4 component parts of the Irish coffee. And I suppose with that, it's time we actually got stuck in to making one. So I'm going to make it in the LIBBEY Georgian glass that we have here. First things first is we get some hot water into our glass. One of the most important things to do is to warm up your glass before you get your Irish coffee made. Now, what I would say is, for those of you that don't have the Georgian glass or the handled glass, make sure that you're making this in a heat-proofed glass. Do not use a wine glass. Do not use any other type of glass. Even with a spoon in it, it's highly likely that the glass will break when you're dealing with these hot liquids. If you want to make it in just a regular mug, that's fine. In a thermos mug, that's fine. But just make sure you don't waste all the good ingredients with a cracked glass. So, got my glass warmed up. So I'm going to tip that out over here. And then we're going to start with our 2 teaspoons of the Demerara sugar. You are also welcome to use a Demerara syrup in this. Link below on how to make a syrup or where to buy one. I have pre-measured this. So there is my 2 teaspoons of Demerara sugar in there. Sugar's in. Now it's time for some whiskey. As you've seen, I've got some Powers Go label on the counter. Again, your choice what whiskey you want to use. This is my Tuesday night whiskey, my fave here at the bar for a Tuesday dram and a Wednesday and a Thursday. 1 fluid ounce of this, just to keep it all nicely in proportion. So we get that in. There we go. Lovely. Now, I say 3 fluid ounces of coffee. Really what you're trying to do is get the coffee and bring the level up to about 90% of the glass being filled. So we will eyeball that to about there. And then we'll give it a stir. Get the Demerara in, and obviously this allows your, and just keep stirring this until you get all the sugar dissolved. Take a few seconds. Probably even sing a little ditty while you're doing it, but we'll pass on that for today. So for those of you that don't want to do all the stirring, this is where the Demerara syrup will come in handy. It'll dissolve much quicker. Obviously, the sugar in the syrup already dissolved. So once you've got your sugar dissolved in your whiskey and coffee, it's time to float the cream, the fun part. So back of a warm spoon, and we will just get her in. How's she looking? Looks good to me. That'll do. We'll take some of that. Fantastic. So let me just set this aside. That. Raise a toast to everyone. We'll say sláinte and happy Irish Coffee Day. So what I love about the Irish coffee is a couple of things. One, relatively easy to make, you know, simple enough ingredients, but you can put your own twist on it. What I love is I suppose the sense of drinking hot, alcoholic, sweet coffee through the cold layer of cream. To me, it's just a wonderful sensory experience. I really enjoy that. Garnish-wise on this, some people will sprinkle a little bit of chocolate over the top of it. Some people will add a Cadbury's flake to the top of it. Some people will sprinkle some nutmeg, maybe even some cinnamon. It's up to you. This is it. It's 4 ingredients on garnish. Some people put 3 coffee beans on top of it. Up to you how you want to serve it. The other thing that some people do is they change the sweeteners. They put in different syrups in there, and then some people like to actually mix some bitters in amongst in with their cream, a few drops of bitters. And I've seen a couple of people do it with orange bitters, a lovely kind of, you know, wintry character, you know, coffee, little bit of orange in there. And, you know, it's up to you to do what you want to do with your Irish coffee. It's one of those wonderful drinks that you can do so many things with, so many variations of. So as I've said, as I've been making this, lots and lots and lots and lots of links down below for resources, for history, for products, for all the whiskies, etc. that I've used in this. But, you know, when you're making your Irish coffee, whether it's today, whether it's on Irish Coffee Day, January 25th, or whether it's on any other day in the year, enjoy it. It's your drink. Make it your own and share it with some friends. So with that, we'll say sláinte. Goodness me. For about 45 seconds or so it'll get a nice float on that, and then, oh, for sake.